on the whole aspects of scaled agile framework. This is the or technically speaking, this is the episode 1. In the first episode, I did touch upon what is scaled agile framework, and it is based on the 4 bodies of knowledge. Basically, the agile development, systems thinking, lean product development, and DevOps. And we did see about what are the questions that scaled agile framework provides, and we did see about the business benefits, the case studies that the customers have uh, given, and what are the benefits that they have seen in and around the productivity, increase in productivity, um, uh, reduction in defects, better time to market, and happier employees. So these are the benefits that customers have seen by um, adopting SAFe. And we did see about the journey of SAFe right from 2001 to date. And I took you through the basic SAFe website and explained how the website is laid about. And we did touch upon the core competencies, the foundation, and the spanning palette. And we did briefly touch upon all the various configurations of SAFe, basically essential, portfolio SAFe, large solution, and full SAFe. And if any one of you have missed that episode, so it is there on my YouTube channel. So you can pretty much go and visit there and have a look. So that is what we did in the first, probably we called it as an overview session, and there was a quiz at the end. And that is what is a quick recap. Now let me share my screen. I'm just searching for the option to share. There you go. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what we covered, the overview. So that's what I have highlighted in green. And this is what we intend to cover in this series. And we are on this point number 2. Technically speaking, we're calling it as second session or episode 1. So we'll talk about the dual operating system, the 7 core competencies of business agility. So that would be the focus of today's discussion. Well, now, when any enterprise, we say it's a startup enterprise or any enterprise, generally starts in a very small fashion. So it's very fast moving, it's adaptive, and it consists of motivated individuals, maybe mainly the promoters. So who want to, uh, and it is all of the people who are in that initial phase, entrepreneurial phase, they are bound by a common vision, and there's solid focus on the needs of the customer. And the roles, relationships are pretty fluid. So it doesn't matter right from the CEO to the last person in the chain. So it doesn't matter who develops, who markets, who's take case of sales, admin, logistics. It doesn't matter because everyone is bound by a common vision, and people just collaborate organically, and there's total focus on the customer needs, and come what may, value is delivered. So that is what is the initial, we call it as an entrepreneurial network, and customer centricity is the key. So this is how any organization starts up. Now when expansion happens, so there are certain things that need to be handled. So specialists are hired, maybe domain specialists, maybe the finance, accounting, sales, marketing, and hierarchy starts building up. Now departments start created, like as I mentioned, admin, logistics, procurement, sales, marketing, finance, accounting. So department starts, and we do have some legal and obligations and HR department policies, procedures, they all start emerging. They start getting established. And the focus is on someone who's not talking. If you can go on mute, please. Okay, thanks. So the focus is to have cost efficient operations and to have a repeatable model. And people start getting organized by functions. It could be in a typical IT industry, the dev function, testing function, support, so on and so forth. And this is where the problem starts. The silo starts begin to form. However, the network is still active. The network is still active. So there's a focus on new opportunities and delivering value. The startup culture is still not lost completely. However, when it gets very large and the organization needs to take the benefit of economies of scale, the revenue and the profitability starts getting a bit more of a focus. Then the hierarchy starts conflicting with the entrepreneurial nature of the organization itself. The flip side is we start defocusing from the customer point of view. Customer centricity becomes the casualty. Now, this is still sustainable if the market is stable and if the economies of scale can keep the competitors at bay, it is still sustainable. However, in the VUCA world, the volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world, there's always a shift in the customer need. Uh, there could be a shift in the customer need, the technology disruption, there could be a competition that is coming up. Then the problems is survival becomes at stake. Now, how do we handle this situation? How do we have the entrepreneurial uh, spirit or the entrepreneurial attitude still alive in the organization, as well as take benefit of the hierarchical structure? That is when John Carter, he's a Harvard uh, professor, uh, he suggested something known as a dual operating system with the network, which focuses on speed of innovation and customer centricity, and the hierarchy. Hierarchy brings in efficiency, stability, repeatability, and things like that. So he suggested that now organizations need to move towards having a dual operating system. This is exactly what Scaled Agile framework provides. In the Scaled Agile framework, we are organized around the value streams instead of departments. And SAFE offers a way for the enterprises to focus on the customers, products, innovation, growth, employees, and things like that. So this is where SAFE is coming into picture. It provides us the stability and the efficiency of an hierarchical organization, as well as bringing out that entrepreneurial network or the entrepreneurial spirit in the organization, because the uh, teams are organized around value streams instead of departments. So that is what is SAFE all about. It is all about having the dual operating system in place. Now, to we'll try to complete the complete session, and then we can take questions. So if there are any questions, please hang on to it. You can note down the slide number and things like that, and we can take the questions towards the end. And as you can put it up in the chat in case you have a tendency to forget. Now, as I mentioned at the start, so we'll be talking about the 7 core competencies today. So these are the seven core competencies that SAFE is built on. It is seven competencies across 21 dimensions. We'll see what are the 7 and 21 in the due course of this webinar. If you see the one on the left, these are all execution focus. It could be team and technical agility, agile product delivery, enterprise solution. These are all execution focus. While the ones on the right side, these are all strategy focus. So right from lean portfolio management, organizational agility, and continuous learning culture. And lean and agile leadership is the foundation. It's fundamental. These are the 7 core competencies that SAFe is based on. Now let's see one by one. The first and the most essential, most basic is, was there something? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep everyone on mute, whoever is not talking.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. The first is the team and technical agility. So this describes the basic critical skills of lean and agile principles and practices which the agile teams and the teams of agile teams should possess to to create high quality products. So this this competency is all about that. The first dimension is about agile teams. So this is the foundation. If we want to scale, we need to be really thorough on the fundamentals of the execution of Scrum and Kanban and the basic agile stuff. If we are not, then we might as well not make an attempt to scale using the scaled agile framework. That's a sure short recipe for failure. We have to be really thorough on how a Scrum team works and the various roles in the Scrum team, predominantly on the product owner and the Scrum master. I won't get into the details of what a product owner is, what a Scrum master is. Expect that this crowd knows about it, but this is fundamental. And the teams need to be cross-functional. The team need to be self-sustained and cross-functional. They should be able to define, build, test, and deploy uh, as an individual team, as an individual 7 to 8, 9 member, 10 member team. So the teams need to be cross-functional. This is fundamental. Now, next dimension is teams of agile teams. Now that we are clear on what a Scrum team is, how does a Scrum team operate, what are the roles of the Scrum team. Now, how do we organize ourselves as a team of agile teams? That is where the concept of agile release train comes in. So the agile release train is a long-lived team of agile teams, which includes stakeholders, developers, product management, and everyone. And they cater to a particular value stream. If you see the depiction here is the blue color background here is a particular value stream. So a value stream, just an example of a value stream could be taking a banking sector. Retail bank is a value stream. Credit cards could be another value stream, or investment banking could be another value stream. So the agile release train caters to a particular value stream, and it's organized around the value streams in the enterprise. So agile release trains, they align to a common business and the technology mission. So if one belongs to the retail bank value stream, then we know that we are catering to the retail business of the particular entire enterprise. So that is how SAFe is organized on. This is fundamental. Uh, Agile release trains are catering to a particular value stream, and all the teams belong to that particular uh, agile release train. They could be reporting into their functional managers, and they could be part of their functional organization in the particular uh, uh, in the enterprise. But they belong to a particular value stream. That's how it works. We are not telling that, okay, we'll take away the hierarchy and we will dismantle the whole thing. No, that's not what we are telling over here. The team members and the teams which are catering to a particular value stream belong to this particular value stream. However, the reporting structure could still be with their functional, respective functional organizations. The third dimension of team and technical agility is built-in quality. This is paramount. So we are talking about here. There's a flow that needs to be established. We need to build in capability to release on demand. Uh, have a minimal marketable feature (MMF) so that we can get feedback from the end customer, and the teams need to visualize the work that's happening and limit work in progress. Limiting work in progress is fundamental to have a lean to have a flow of work, and it is important to work in small batch sizes, because smaller the batch size, the faster it moves through the entire value stream. So establishing flow is paramount. And of course, the engineering aspects of peer review, pair programming, pairing, collective code ownership, having standards is important. And there's a very big focus on automation. The lesser the manual work that we have, the better the quality is. So it's all about built-in quality, and there's a strong focus on a definition of done. That is what ensures built-in quality. So this is what are the three dimensions on this core competency of team and technical agility. I'll take a pause if there are any questions before we move to the next competency.
Right. And I think we have 47 people here. There are a couple of people from YouTube live session also have joined. So whoever is watching from YouTube, you can type in your questions on the chat window. We'll address that.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Okay. And one question from Park Kansas who mentioned you spoke about blue, which was foundation. Earlier, can you visit back once prior slide? Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I think,
Lalit.
yep, you can speak up, Park, Kansas.
Hey, hi, Mahendra. Nitish
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, yeah, you touched base to one of the core stuff which was highlighted in the blue at the bottom in prior screen. So, if you could just hover back to a few of the slides,
This one.
somewhere, yeah, something. Just if you can touch base, what was that part?
Oh, this
Because
one.
because we see
Okay.
the business, we see the quality, the operations. However, even at the bottom, it's solution. So I just got what is it distracted there.
This one.
I
Somewhat
think
you were
that's a value stream. Are you talking about? Are you whatever you're asking? Is that in the current screen?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I was trying to tell you here is, so this blue color background, the depiction is this is a value stream, and this agile release train caters to this particular value stream. So what is a value stream in a to in an example of banking? I was telling it could be retail banking is a value stream. It could be capital investment is another value stream. So that is what is a depiction out here. So that's what I was trying to tell uh, in this slide. And teams are organized around the value stream in
See,
a safe construct.
primarily, if I can add
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
so any value stream is a steps in a flow where you have some concept and at the end you will get the result of that or concept to cash. There will
Concept
be
to cash.
multiple steps. So all those steps are actually stream of value. And that's why we call it as a stream value stream. So as Mahendra mentioned, for retail banking, if you look into the entire business, if you look into where the concept was came up from, let's assume it's came up from the CEOs or the stakeholders. They decided they will start a business, and there will be multiple steps to reach to get the benefit from that particular business. Maybe there will be somewhere they will be making some system to give loans, or maybe there will be somewhere they will be making some marketing. So there can be multiple different steps comes in. That's the entire value stream or flow of work from concept to cash. Is that clear now?
Yeah, that helps. Thanks.
Yeah. So this agile release stream consists of all the roles, right? From your sales, marketing, your solution development, deployment, everyone, production support, everyone. So this value stream caters for that particular line of business. This is what was the value stream thing. Okay, I think we can move on. So if there's no
Yeah,
other
we
questions,
don't have any questions from YouTube yet. We can move on now.
yeah. So the next core competency that we are touching upon here is agile product delivery. So the whole idea, like I was mentioning about the
Mahendran,
network and the
sorry, Satish here. I'm sorry
yeah,
that
Satish.
I'm sorry for disturbing. Mahendran, in the case of built-in quality process, what kind of quality practices that can be taken up? Right now, today, right, everyone is looking for technical agility and clean code practices, refactoring. What what kind of expectations that we may have to put in case to get the best in take care of built-in quality. No, other
Hey,
than the
excellent question, Satish. So that is where I was telling the foundation for scaling up is uh, 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 having a good agile team. When I say a good agile team, it's self-sufficient, and all the XP practices could be CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, deployment, clean code practices, build automation, and
Pair programming,
automation, pair
meta
programming,
codes.
everything, everything. So we need to have those. You can't scale. So in fact, there's a quote by Dean where he says, "You can't scale up a crappy code. It is very clear." So
Yep.
it is. So only the process can take us only to that extent. It is the engineering practices which will only which will help us actually reap the benefit of the agile processes. So to answer to your question, that is foundational. So having good engineering practices is foundational.
And
Fair
at
enough.
the
Thanks a lot.
same time, when you think about all those XP practices, scaled agile don't says that when you are starting, you'll have to start with all the practices. Start with that you can accommodate at that point of time, but keep on including all the best practices. So if you start doing all the best practices from the day one, you will be lost in doing the best practices rather than going into the other details. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yep, that
yeah.
helps.
So in fact, that's exactly the reason the last sprint in a PI, in a program increment, is known as IP sprint, innovation and planning. So there's a specific focus on learning and innovation in scaled agile framework. So it is not that it is a buffer sprint that if at all we cannot accomplish, we'll do the leftover work in the last sprint. No, that is not meant for that. It is specifically known as innovation and planning. There's a
Yep.
focus out there on innovation and learning, and so all of these best practices and engineering practices, you can build your skill set out there.
Okay. Yep.
And also one more point over here, why we need to have built-in quality, that you cannot add few more quality later on, because when you are building, the quality has to be there along with your build. When you are developing, when you are testing, when you are deploying, you cannot do the code right now and later you think you will be adding some more quality. You cannot do that. And that's why scale agile recommend you follow the practices along with your journey.
Yeah, in
100%.
fact,
That's why they say,
eh,
that's why safe says, built in first at best. That's what I understand.
yeah,
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 thanks.
yeah. So, and unfortunately, we have been practicing it in the wrong way. So quality is part of the testing function. So quality is not uh, as a developer, I'm not worried about quality. It is the testers which will focus on quality, and it is only in the software industry wherein we have a product and then we try to test it. If I'm in a construction, if I'm building my house, I don't build a wall and break the wall and check whether the quality of the wall is right. No, I get the right ingredients right from the start. The proportion of the cement or the concrete or the water, the sand. I get the ingredients right so that the quality is built in. It is not that I build the wall and then I try to break it and check what the quality of the wall is. No, but we have learned, unfortunately, we have learned the other way around in the IT world, which we have to do a little bit of unlearning of that. That's why built-in quality is one of the primary dimension of
Team and
team and
technical
technical,
ability. Yeah.
and it is one of the core values as well of SAFe. When we talk about the core values, we'll talk about that as well. Okay,
Thanks for that,
so
Vela. Thanks for your time.
yeah, so next one is on the agile product delivery. So here it is all about customer centricity and design thinking. We'll see what it is. The teams which are customer centric, they focus on customer. They understand the customer needs. So it's not that only my sales and marketing people talk to my customers and things like that. No, the team itself understands the customer needs and they think and feel like a customer. They build product. Uh, if
Where it
someone
is
was not talking,
echoing.
wonder who's it.
Okay. If someone
Yeah.
is not in mute, I'll mute person. Okay.
Okay.
Carry on, please.
So and the the team focuses on creating a customer lifetime value. So that is what the teams focus on, and the the entire team starts thinking from a design thinking point of view. So there are two aspects to the design thinking. One is understanding the problem, and you design the right solution. So we will see what it is. So it's a divergent thinking. So first you do some understanding. If you see these arrows that are going, so initially you will diverge and understand what the problem is, and then converge so that you can define. So this is the same aspect is the same concept is in both the spaces, the problem space as well as in the solution space. So in the problem space, you first do the discovery mode. So it could be a Gemba walk, or it could be market research, or you try to first discover what the problem is, and then you define, you generate insights on the problem. So first you work on the problem space, then you move into the solution space, then you develop the solution. So you, when you say develop the solution here, you're not actually developing in software terms, you're not building the product as such. No, that is not what we're telling over here. The tools like journey mapping, story mapping, prototyping. So you develop the solution, and the there's a very beautiful principle that SAFe has: assume variability and preserve options. So we don't eliminate. We always keep our options open. We keep the doors open, and we work on elimination mode. So that is what is the concept out here. Uh, when we develop a solution, then you deliver the solution. When you say deliver the solution, it could be the features, which features or epics that gets into the program backlog. So then, so basically you discover, you define the problem, then you define the solution. So you work on both the, and you create solutions which are desirable, viable, sustainable, and feasible. So all the four aspects are important of the solution. The market should, there should be a need for it in the market. It should be desirable, and it should be feasible also. And moreover, it should be sustainable as well. So those are the solutions that uh, the teams start building on, and it translates into the epics and the features which get into the program backlog. That is what is this dimension talking about with respect to customer centricity and design thinking. And then second dimension on this is on you develop on cadence and release on demand. There are two types of cadences out here: iterations or sprints. So that is a cadence. So it's a 2 week sprint. So it's the entire train, agile release train, works on the same iteration. So there could be 10 to 15 teams. All the uh, 10 teams start their iteration on the same day and end their iteration on the same day. So that's a cadence. And a program increment is a cadence. So you develop on cadence and you release on demand. If you got to release on demand, your engineering aspects need to be really strong. The way you manage your source code, the way you do your testing, the infrastructure that is there for release, all those are foundational. So the teams develop on cadence. However, they release on demand. The release, the power to release is given to the product management and the product business owners. The engineering team has done from our side. The quality is there built in. Now it is for you to take it to the market. That is where features like feature toggles and all come into place. So these are all engineering aspects which are fundamental and really important to achieve release on demand. This is what this dimension talks about. And of course, DevOps and the CD pipeline. DevOps consists of it's the acronym is clamor. So it is a culture. So it's a culture of shared responsibility. It is not that I'm a developer or I'm a tester. No, it's a culture of shared responsibility. That is the first C. And there's a strong focus on automation. You can't talk of DevOps if we are not into automation. So anything that is done twice need to be automated. So let's have that as a thumb rule. In fact, uh, 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 so they, without automation, you can't get into the DevOps space. Lean flow. So it is very important to limit your work in progress, reducing batches and manage the queue length so that there's a flow in the entire system. And you need to measure. Everything needs to be measured. And that is what feeds into your continuous improvement. And how do you go about recovery? So these are the five aspects of the five core aspects of DevOps. The acronym is CLAMA. And it's a continuous delivery pipeline. So when you say pipeline, it doesn't mean that I have a Jenkins in place or I have a GitLab in place and a pipeline, delivery pipeline. It's not that what we are telling over here. When you say continuous delivery pipeline, the agile release train is always on a continuous exploration mode. So the vision, the roadmap is always is fluid. It's always on the continuous exploration mode. And there's a continuous integration that's going on between the various agile teams, and all the code is version controlled. The functionality that is built in is integrated, and there's always a focus on having a full system demo. And the focus is on deployment, putting into the staging and the production environments, and of course, release on demand. We did speak about release on demand. That is what is the continuous delivery pipeline that we are talking. So what are the various aspects that get into the exploration, integration, deployment is what this dimension talks about. We'll finish this enterprise delivery, solution delivery, then we can take a pause for any question. So that would complete the execution part of it, and then we can move to the strategic core competencies. Enterprise solution delivery, this once again has got three dimensions. Now, how do we, this competency talks about one agile release train is caters for one particular value stream. But if the value stream is so big that one agile release train cannot cater for it, an agile release train consists of anywhere between 10 to 15 teams, max of 150 member. What if a solution requires more than that? That is where we talk of large solutions. This competency talks about how do we cater to that large solutions. There's a continual so here we talk about a solution intent, wherein there's a fixed part of a solution intent and there's certain part of the variable solution intent, which is subject to further exploration. So, and you are talking of planning at multiple levels, right from your daily stand-ups which the teams have, that is also a planning event, to the and if you see if you have read about Mike Cohen, he calls it of the planning onion. So you have the daily stand-up, the iteration plan, the sprint plan, the current PI plan, the PI roadmap, solution roadmap, and the portfolio roadmap. If you see, the scope of it goes on increasing like an onion, the various layers of an onion. And architecture has to be, you have to scale for architecture. So there is here, the practice that we initially had was the design has to play in place and then only we'll start coding. Here we are talking of an emergent design. Yes, the overall architecture is in place. This intentional architecture. However, the design of our software should be emerging. That is what does this competency talks about. And of course, QMS, the quality management system. So you need a really lean quality management system to address all the compliance and regulatory concerns. So that is what is this dimension about. Here we are, I'm just having a time check, it's 10:10. So, okay. So coordinating between the various trains and suppliers. So it could be an external supplier also. A supplier can be external to our organization. So how do you go about doing it? So you build and integrate large solution components, which is beyond the capability of one agile release train. So that's how you fit it into a full solution train. And here we talk about, um, um, Sachin, if you could mute, please. Thank you. And we're talking about continuous integration. What does it mean by continuous integration? Thanks, Sachin. Uh, so there could be, if it's a large solution, it's not possible to integrate very often as we would want it to be. So there has to be economic trade-off that has to be done with respect to the transaction cost that is involved in integrating vis-a-vis the um, uh, uh, knowledge and the feedback, the delayed knowledge and feedback that we can accommodate. So that trade-off has to be there. That's why it says as apply continuous integration. It is not continuous integration, it is continuous integration. So you have to take a cautious call and do a trade-off uh, for the between the cost of integration as well as vis-a-vis the uh, uh, hit that we can take in delayed feedback and the knowledge that we can generate from our solution. And you need to have systems thinking to manage the supply chains as well. The third dimension out here is the systems continually evolve and it's a live system. So you evolve the deployed systems over a period of time. So you build a continuous delivery pipeline and you evolve it over a period of time. I'll take a pause for any doubts on these two dimensions, agile project delivery and enterprise solution delivery.
I think there were a couple of questions in the chat window. Someone named Redme. I don't think that's a name. It's mentioned from the engineering practice improvement. Is it the development manager who can help team to identify and improve the areas if code reviews, pair programming already happening in the team?
Yeah, irrespective. So it's once again a contextual question. So in your organization, it could be called as a development manager. It could be in another organization, engineering manager. So it could be multiple functions out there. The point that here is there has to be strong engineering practices. Who does it is contextual. It is with respect to how your organization is set up. That's what is my take. Niladri, if you want to add.
All right. Yeah, I think that is very much specific to your organization structure and how you name them. But
Mm.
someone have that responsibility, whatever the roles
Yeah,
designation does not mention, but someone needs to take that responsibility.
yeah.
All right, I'll go to the next question. It's asked by Madhusudhan. Brief words about design thinking and system thinking and their application. It's actually the answer will be very broad. It cannot be very
Yeah,
short, but Mahendra, over to you. You can answer that.
yeah. So when we say systems thinking, people need to appreciate from the entire systems point of view. So, like I as a team should be able to appreciate what is happening in my upstream as well as my downstream process, rather than me thinking on, okay, this is my product and this is what I'll do and this is what I'll focus on. No, that is not a systems thinking. I should be able to appreciate what is happening with my product in the upstream as well as in the downstream. That is the fundamental of system thinking in a nutshell. Niladri, if you could elaborate, or
Yeah,
if
I
you want
think
to add.
see, design thinking and system thinking is to explain it. We need a supporting slides and make that more
Yeah,
detailed. But for now, you explain it in a crisp way. That's okay. We will move to the next question asked by Mike. Does WIP refer to items in a sprint or bigger picture?
very good question, Mike. WIP is part of life. It could be part of your sprint. It could be part of your program level. It could be at the portfolio level as well. At the portfolio level as well. So at an organization, the organization cannot be focusing on multiple epics and spread themselves thin. So to answer to your question, WIP applies everywhere. If you see the big picture of scaled agile framework, you have a Kanban, portfolio Kanban, you have a program at a Kanban at the program level and at the team level also. So WIP applies at across the board.
Mahendra, WIP is not specific to sprint, I believe. It's a flow-based Kanban. But
Yeah.
in the
So,
case,
so the
what is
concept
stated
is,
may not be applicable. It's not specific to sprint.
it is a concept, Mike. So if you ask me, can do we have WIP in Scrum team? I would say yes. So to be a bit more specific, so if you can go on mute, there's a disturbance.
Okay,
So
yeah, I done that.
yeah, so yes, WIP comes from the Kanban and the Lean world, so no doubt about it. But can it be applied to a Scrum team? Yes. I'll give you a quick example. Rather, if a Scrum team has picked up, let's say the Scrum team has got 5 stories, which they have picked up as part of their sprint backlog. Rather than all the members working on all the 5 stories and giving it to the testing in the team on the 7th or the 8th day, we have built a beautiful waterfall into a 10-day sprint. Now, the WIP there, can we apply WIP there? Yes, we can apply WIP there. The best WIP is one. Let
So,
all the members work on one.
one more point, whenever we are talking about WIP, what we are applying, limiting the WIP, work in
That's
progress
it.
limit. Yeah. So, definitely you can use it in your Scrum, Kanban. This is just a practice, or this is just a implementing, restricting your multitasking so that you can actually go for a finished first approach. Pick one, complete it, then start the next one. Yeah, Mahendra, over to you.
Yeah. So stop starting, start finishing. So that's what we say. So
Right.
don't just start everything. So stop starting, start finishing. So WIP is a concept that we can apply. In fact, we can apply it in our day-to-day life as well, or we should apply it in our day-to-day life.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I
I
think
don't have any questions from YouTube. We can go ahead.
okay. The next one is on the now then moving on to the strategic core competencies. The first one we are talking about here is on the lean portfolio management. So how this competency talks about aligning the strategy and the execution. The first three was on the execution part of it. Now, how do we align the strategy of the organization to the to execution by applying lean and systems thinking? Uh, and this competency talks about funding, governance, and so on and so forth. Now let's see quickly see the various dimensions of this. So the first is on the strategy and the investment funding. So here this competency talks about these three key roles: the enterprise executives, the business owners, and the architects. They they get together and they have the fundamental responsibility of connecting the portfolio to the enterprise strategy and have the portfolio vision in place. So and they this is where the epics and the epic owners come into picture. They realize the portfolio vision through the epics. The epics are broken down to features, and features subsequently are broken down to stories. And this here talks about having lean budgets and specific guardrails to keep the budget under control. And if you see, you establish a portfolio flow. So if you have to have a flow at the portfolio level, you need to have WIP limits there as well. So this is what talks about this dimension talks about at that level, wherein these three roles take up these activities to ensure that the strategy and the execution are in line. Then we talk about the portfolio operations. Any organization will have operational overrides as well. So in the erstwhile world, we did have PMO function, project management office function, PMO. Here we are talking of agile PMO. It is not that it is just a change of name and all. No, the way we operate is also different. The agile PMO ensures that there's a coordination between the various value stream. They support the program function, and there's always operational overrides that there. So the agile PMO focuses on having an uh, uh, lean operational excellence, and that is what is the LACE stands for, the Center of Lean Agile Center of Excellence. So that is what the so this dimension talks about having these operational capabilities to support the lean and agile aspects. Then at the governance side, so we do have the agile PMO, business owners. They provide the forecast and the budget. So the various ways of doing budgeting and forecasting. We're not getting into the details of that. So and we need to have measurements in place to understand the how the portfolio is doing, and uh, the compliance aspect also has to be kept in mind. That is what is the governance all about. We'll probably finish this organization agility and the learning core competency and then pause for questions. The next core competency is on organization agility. Here, uh, this, this talks about lean thinking people and agile teams. So let's see what does it mean. The technical teams need to be agile. The business teams need to be agile. The marketing team needs to be agile. The operations have to be agile. And the work environment, as so having a conducive work environment to support the agile ways of working. It could be co-located or it could be distributed. So that is also important. How it talks about all of this, and making the work visual. So if it was in physical space, we make the work visual uh, through our walls, and in the virtual space, there are various tools which we use to make the work visual. Right from portfolio to the program to the team, everything has to be made visual. And of course, the focus is on tooling and automation. That is what is to achieve this, you require that. So it is just not enough if my IT team or my engineering team becomes agile. As you can see, the entire organization has to start thinking in an agile way, in the agile ways of working. And from a business operations point of view, it has to be lean enough. So there are two types of value streams. One is a operational value stream and the other is a development value stream. The operational value stream is the one which delivers solutions to their customers, like what I was mentioning, retail. So retail is one of the operational value stream. However, you will have multiple other development value streams which develop solutions which enable the operational value stream. So, for example, it could be the engineering team, or it could be the infrastructure team. So, they are development value streams which are which enable the operational value stream to deliver the solutions to their customers. So once again, we are not getting into the details of this. However, this is all about how do we organize ourselves with respect to operational and development value stream. And from the strategy point of view also, there should be agility at the strategy side. So there should be the organization needs to have the ability to sense the changes in the market and take decisions quickly. And uh, we should be able to preserve the things that are working and will work, that needs to be given some time. And there should be a focus this thing on the market sensing, and you let to innovate like a lean startup. So the innovation, like what I was mentioning, innovation is uh, very critical for us to keep on for us to survive. That is why the focus is there in our program execution also. So we innovate like a lean startup, and it is important to start ignoring on the sunk cost. So there's no point in worrying about the sunk cost. And accounting structures have to be innovative. Moving on to the uh, sixth dimension, which is continuous learning. This sets of this describes the values and practices that encourage individuals and the enterprise to continually increase the knowledge, competencies of uh, the individuals. The first dimension here is about the learning organization, personal mastery. So here, as an individual, employees are encouraged to pick up T-shaped skills. Now we are talking of pie-shaped and comb-shaped skills and full-stack engineers. So it's a personal mastery space. And the shared vision, the leaders are always on a communicating mode, and they share the vision very openly, and there's open communication out there. And there's always a focus on team learning. So to achieve shared knowledge, sharing of the knowledge, and thinking together. So that is where the concepts of communities of practice and things like that comes into place. And this is what is system thinking. So someone was asking about system thinking. The organization starts looking at the larger picture, and we recognize the fact that optimizing on the individual component does not optimize the whole. So we need to optimize the entire system. So I should be able to appreciate the upstream as well as the downstream activities and be able to contribute there. So that is what is the system thinking all about. So these having these dimensions in place gets us the ability to have a learning organization. And innovation is a cornerstone. So innovation culture is paramount. So in fact, we'll have to see how do we. Uh, it could be the individual goals or the learning plans that we have, the rewards and recognition. All should encourage innovation. So when you say learning plans, it doesn't. I've seen organizations wherein a calendar invite is sent 1 hour per week as a learning hour. It doesn't suffice. So it is just a clerical work that my calendar is blocked for 1 hour, and so we'll have to have that culture of uh, learning, and the rewards and recognition also has to be framed in that way that people start innovating. Time space, and it could be of maybe certain policies which are, of course, which are not regulatory and which are not penalty oriented with our legal. So go a bit easy on these aspects to enable innovation. Go and see. Go. This is a concept of actually go to the floor where the work is happening and go and see. That is where innovation take place. And be open for experiment and feedback. And there should not be any fear of failure. What we say is fail fast, fail cheap. If there's a fear of failure, innovation cannot happen. And you pivot without mercy or guilt. So just because it is my pet idea, there's no point in hanging on to my idea. So you pivot. So you drop that idea and just move on. So pivot without mercy or guilt. And it innovation reptiles. So what we are talking of here is this, one of the principles that is there is decentralized decision making. If there are certain decisions that are there, don't hang on to from the management side. You encourage decentralized decision making and let the decision with can be taken, allow the decisions to be taken by the team members. For, when I say team members, the individual scrum teams or at the program level. So centralized, decentralized decision making. And what all decisions should be centralized, what all decisions should be decentralized. There's a certain formula that we apply, and that's not part of, we will not be able to cover it over here. And this is one of the core values also, relentless improvement. Uh, Relentless improves is there's a constant sense of danger. So that is where we start focusing on improving ourselves. And I did talk about it, optimize the whole rather than optimizing in individual pockets, optimize the whole. And develop a problem solving culture. And do have milestones. So in one of the, in the spanning palette, we talk a bit more on the milestones. So reflect, have key milestones and reflect on key milestones, and have factual uh, fact based improvements. So rather than on gut feel, so have fact based improvements in place. I'll take a pause. We are at 10:30. I think we can take a few questions and finish this as well before I get into the lean agile leadership. Any questions?
Yeah, no questions as of now we have received after the last questions we had addressed.
Okay.
May
Now,
I ask a question?
yeah, Sachin.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, Mahindra and Niladri. I think this is a really good info. Uh, I just have a quick question in terms of on a pragmatic ground, right? So we are into a software development services, and then from a customer standpoint, definitely all execution parts definitely, and even from a leadership perspective, all the components will come in. My question is more specific to from a service provider standpoint. If we are now into a waterfall or so-called hybrid way of delivering the services, but now we as a organization, if you want to transform ourselves into a safe or agile way, so what are typically five key components which you propose to transform from a waterfall or a hybrid to a complete agile or safe?
Uh, it's a good question, Sachin. So, in fact, if I can jump back to it, one full module is dedicated for this. There's something known as the implementation roadmap, Sachin. So, SAFE has got a structured implementation roadmap that we start from a waterfall and how do we implement SAFE. So we'll talk in more
Okay.
detail out there. So there's
Okay.
a structured way of implementing SAFE, Sachin, in a
Okay.
nutshell.
No worries. No worries. No worries. So I will hold my question then. All right. Thanks. No problem.
Yeah, this will come. So this how we had planned,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that we can cover everything step by step, Sachin.
That's
So
fine.
when we get
That's
to
fine.
this implementation roadmap, we'll talk about in a lot of detail as to how do
Sounds
we
good.
transform an organization from a waterfall way to and adapt safe, Sachin.
True. Sounds good. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other question?
Not seems like we don't have anything from YouTube as well.
Okay. So then we can quickly finish the seventh
Competencies.
competency. Just okay. So lean and agile leadership. So yeah, this is once probably as a teaser for the question that you asked, Sachin. The leaders in an organization are paramount. It is only the managers and the executives which provide the foundation for a lean and agile development. So this is foundational. Having the leaders, the executives, the managers understanding the lean and agile concepts is paramount for any transformation, because it is only they who have the authority to change and continuously improve. In fact, if I remember quote, I think it is from um, uh, our management guru. I forgot. I'm not able to get that name. What he says is the employees are already doing what they're doing best. It is only the leaders who have to change. So there are multiple case studies out there. So in fact, there's a beautiful case study out there wherein one of Toyota took over a plant in US, which was managed by Ford and or General Motors. I don't exactly remember, and they made it.
Edwards Deming. Edwards Deming.
Deming. Yeah, thanks, Santosh. I was, yeah. So it is only the leaders who can change. So, it's foundational. So, Sachin, as a prelogue for your answer, so this is where we start from. The implementation roadmap starts from the leaders as well,
Yep.
leaders itself. Yeah. And yeah, so now how do we how what is expected of the leaders? So leaders they lead by example. So authenticity, so they need to be really transparent, honest, integrity. These are foundational. You can't have leaders who don't exhibit these attributes, and you can't expect them to lead in lean and agile transformation. And they need to have a high emotional intelligence, and they need to focus, they need to be willing to, they need to be lifelong learners themselves. So they need to be on a self improvement and self motivated to on the pursuit of knowledge and growth. So we need leaders thinking in those directions now, and they should be interested in growing others. The best leader is who can make others grow, so rather than he himself growing. So the focus is totally different. And decentralized decision making. So there should be certain decisions which are taken centrally, yes, but there are certain decisions, most of the decisions should be decentralized. So that is what is expected from a leader. So that is the first dimension. The second dimension is on the mindset and the principles. So there's something as a fixed mindset and the growth mindset. So I won't get into the details of that. So for want of time, of course. And the safe core values. If you can see here, built-in quality appears over here. The safe is built on these 4 core values: built-in quality, alignment, transparency, and program execution. We'll talk about it in the session that is coming up next in a bit more detail. And the lean agile mindset. So safe house of lean as these 4 aspects: respect for people, culture, flow, innovation, and relentless improvement. I did mention about it earlier. Relentless improvement. And the fundamentals of the Agile Manifesto, the 4 values and the 12 principles of the Agile Manifesto, that still applies. So the leaders need to have this mindset, uh, lean and agile mindset. And of course, there are 10 safe principles, which we'll talk about in the subsequent session. They need to really understand these safe principles, and they should be leading the change. So they keep on communicating on the need to change. The vision and the need to change has to be communicated, and that has to be a constant conversation that has to, and they should be able to inspire, motivate, and engage the people in that entire change process. And they should be able to influence and motivate others in the organizational change. And they should be able to break the silos across multiple levels and empower and build a coalition to bring about that change. And psychological safety, that is paramount. So you can't have always a sword hanging on your head and expect to innovate, and no, it doesn't work that way. They need to provide that psychological safety. And there has to be uh, a continuous training. The focus has to be there, and it should be outcome oriented, not output oriented. Okay, so I've seen leaders, okay, if I send my team members to training, okay, my objective is done. So it is only output. So it should be outcome oriented training. That is that's all that we had for today. So thank you. We
I think
exceeded
there
by
is
about
one
10 minutes.
question we have from Ramya. She asked, if leadership put on us a failure or responsibility on one person, typically a scrum master, then how do we tackle them? What is the best answer? Since, as per me, there is no single person responsible for failure or success of a project.
I would see it this way. Why are we always talking of failure and fixing someone's and catching someone's neck? That is coming from the old mindset. See, the failure would come only if we are not focusing on your continuous progress. So, if I would say, let me, Ramya, you spoke about, okay, if team fails, okay, it is a scrum master's neck that has to be put on the block, and that is the old mindset. The
Yeah.
ways that, okay, so a project manager is held responsible for the failure of the project. No, it is a 10-day sprint. Why do you have to fail after the 10th day? You know that you are failing on the first day. Make sure that you don't fail, na? Why do we have to design for failure? Number one. Number two, even if we fail, we learn and we'll ensure that we will not do the same mistake again. And we will feel bad about it. When I say we, the entire team feels bad about it. There's a collective ownership. So the owners, that's a totally different mindset. That's exactly what the management need to understand, that a scrum master is not the existing project manager, and it is not a name change. So it's a collective failure, and we learn from our mistakes. So if you see the foundation of Scrum is empiricism. What does empiricism means? So we are continuously learning. We learn, we build upon the knowledge that we have acquired. And yes, if you're doing experiments, you are bound to fail. And that is a risk that we all will have to take. And if we don't take that risk, then we are up for extinction. I hope I answered, Ramya.
Yes, and also to add to this, when we talk about failures, it's not just the Scrum or Agile, right, that we fail. So even in waterfall, we fail. I mean, we fail miserably in waterfall. That too, at end of all the
Yeah,
phases, when we come up with surprises that the product is not as per what we imagined or
yeah,
the client want it to be.
yeah. Here we say fail fast, fail cheap. So if we are going to fail, I'm going to tell today itself that we're going to fail. So, and I'm not afraid. So one of the core values of Scrum is courage. I should have the courage to go up to management and saying that I'm failing. We have to, I need your help. And if I am not doing that, I'm failing my duties as a Scrum Master. I should have that courage to go up and tell we are failing. And I'm telling you today itself that we will fail. Now, what shall we do about it? The best thing that the leader would like to hear is, boss, we have not yet failed, but we will fail. Come help me. That is a sweetest thing that he'll hear, because no leader wants to fail. He or she will certainly be willing to move heaven and earth so that you don't fail. So why are we designing ourselves for failure? That's my fundamental problem.
To add to what you said, Mahendra, it's basically learn and win. That is what
Yeah,
empirism says.
yeah, that's what empiricism is. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
But the in the practical world, somebody's neck has to roll because you can't catch the system, so you catch the hold of one person.
That is where the
That is
leadership needs to have that
evolve.
attitude change. The leadership needs to evolve. It is, yes, see, there will be some bad apples in any organization. I'm not talking of bad apples. I'm talking of people who have put in their soul and heart, and who have shown that impediments are there, who have escalated, who have asked for help. In spite of that, if the product is failing, it is just too bad. Then we'll have to learn and we'll have to move on. So failure, so unfortunately, failure should not be looked as a bad thing. It should be looked at as a improvement opportunity, a learning opportunity. That's a mindset that we'll have to build in. That is where the leaders have got a very fundamental, very big role to play to bring about that culture. See, you can't innovate without failure, no? If you make 10 experiments, probably 8 will fail. At least 2 will succeed. Then then where is the innovation culture gone? If we are not creating that psychological safety and providing that safety net for failure, that's a mindset change. That is why all of this is the leaders have a very big role to play in bringing about this mindset change. Any other questions?
Mahendra, you said about stop starting and start finishing, right?
Yeah, stop starting, start finishing. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So it's basically like to put a limit on the whip in progress. In that
yeah,
context, you said, right?
yeah, I mentioned in that. So have a WIP limit. You start, stop starting, start finishing. So whatever you have picked up, finish it. So the other question that the team someone asked. So if you have 5 stories, so okay, let's start with the WIP limit of two stories, or let all the 7 to 8 members work on these 2 stories. How do we manage the source code? How do we integrate? That's an engineering challenge which we'll have to figure it out. So only when we put a WIP limit, okay, I'll have only 2 stories in flight at any point of time, we put a WIP limit, then we will figure out those answers. We will overcome those engineering challenges. So start finishing, and see the benefit of it. You pick up a story. When I say you, the team picks up a story. They maybe pick up one story or two stories, give to the tester on the third day. The tester starts testing it, and they pick up the next two stories incrementally and give the demo to the product owner on the third or the fourth day itself. Incrementally, you are building within those 10-day sprint, and it is done. We'll have to figure it out. If we don't figure it out, someone else will do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
also
Any other questions?
we also have a quiz set up for you if anyone interested. I have shared the link on the chat window. You can go there and give the quiz. It's have 12 questions, 12 minutes time, and this quiz window will be open for 1 hour from now. And for the top scorer above 75% mark will get a good discount from any training that we conduct. If you are interested, then we can take that further. So if anyone, even if you don't want to the, even if you don't want to uh, go for any training, but for your learning you can actually go for the quiz and just try to check and all the questions related to the today's topic that we have talked about. All right, and in the meanwhile, if anyone have any questions, you can ask now, or you can still drop us a mail if you have any questions, and we can quickly talk about what will be our next topic that we will be covering in the next. I think today is 9th of Jan, and we will be able to do something on 31st Jan, I believe.
Yeah, that's Saturday. Yeah, we'll be
Yeah,
talking about
so 30.
safe core values, lean agile mindset, house of lean, and the agile manifesto at scale. So we'll be
Hey,
talking about this.
this is Mike here. I put a question in the chat. I don't know if you've seen it. I was asking if there is a certification at the end of this, like the entire series, or we have to do this and then move on to do an actual with you.
Yeah, this is just a free learning session. This is not connected with any kind of certification. So many people they don't want to go for certification yet. They just want to know what exactly the safe is and how are the different component. That's for that purpose. If you really want to go for certifications, their 2 day continuous training is there for 8 hours, 8 hours, 16 hours. Based on there are 12 different certifications in Scaled Agile, based on the different responsibilities you are working on, maybe as a RTE or product management or product owner or scrum master or managers. Based on different roles, you can select which certification you want to go for. We have different schedule in our website. You can go there, or you can connect with me separately over email or phone, whatever is convenient. We can talk about that in more details.
Yeah, that is with Niladri. So I'm not part of that particular setup. So Niladri will help you out in those certifications and things. What I'm currently doing is just sharing my knowledge as just free over here, Mike.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Niladri, I'll contact you by email then. Thank you.
Sure, definitely.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, any other
Okay.
questions anyone have? All right, I think we don't have any much questions. So Mahendra, you can give your closing statement as well. And next time we will be meeting on 30th of January. And with the topic, let me quickly check. Safe core values, lean agile mindset, house of lean, agile manifesto at scale. This is what we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think we are good.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for your time, and it was nice talking and good conversations. Uh, have a nice day. Thank you.